योर या एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम। तो सबसे पहले बिफोर गोइंग टू द किडनी पार्ट कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन जस्ट कि हाँ एग्जैक्टली जो एक्सक्रीशन है उस एक्सक्रीशन प्रोसेस के दौरान कौन कौन से एक्सक्रीटरी सब्सटेंसेस रिलीज होते हैं उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा पढ़ेंगे, है ना, फिर हम आगे चलेंगे। राइट है। तो सबसे पहले मैं आपको बताता हूं कि नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट मटेरियल किस किस फॉर्म में रिलीज होते हैं एंड अलग अलग कितने ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं वहां पर किस किस फॉर्म में ये रिलीज हो रहे हैं। जैसे मान लीजिए हम ये कहें कि यूरिया के फॉर्मेट में रिलीज होने वाले जो यूरिया रिलीज कर रहे हैं नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट को एज अ एक्सक्रीटरी कंपोनेंट या एक्सक्रीटरी कंपाउंड, उनको हम यूरियोटैलिज्म कहेंगे, यूरियोटैलिक ऑर्गेनिज्म कहेंगे। प्रोसेस को हम फिनोमेना यूरियोटैलिज्म कहा जाएगा, मैमल्स होते हैं। इसी तरह से अगर नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट यूरिक एसिड के फॉर्म में रिलीज हो, किस फॉर्म में, यूरिक एसिड के फॉर्म में, तो हम लोग कहेंगे यस दिस इज यूरिकोटैलिक ऑर्गेनिज्म। ज्यादातर इसमें इंसेक्ट्स आते हैं, रेप्टाइल्स आते हैं, यूरिक एसिड के फॉर्म में नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट मेनली रिलीज करते हैं। कुछ ऑर्गेनिज्म ऐसे होंगे जो अमोनिया के फॉर्मेट में रिलीज करेंगे अपना नाइट्रोजन वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट, तो उसको हम लोग उसको कहेंगे अमोनोटैलिक ऑर्गेनिज्म। यस, और फिनोमेना हो जाएगा अमोनोटैलिज्म। तो बस पहले हम इन चीजों के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, देन वी मूव अहेड आगे। ठीक है, तो सबसे पहला वर्ड हमारे पास आता है, तो उससे भी पहले हम ये कह सकते हैं कि यस कि अपना जो नाइट्रोजन वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट है हम लोग किस फॉर्म में रिलीज करें, सी हियर। तो वी कैन से नाइट्रोजनस waste product is released either in the form of what, in the form of urea, जिसकी हम अब बात अभी हमने स्टार्ट की है, or it may be released in the form of uric acid, or it may be released in the form of ammonia। ठीक है, अमोनिया के फॉर्मेट में हम लोग रिलीज कर सकते हैं। राइट, तो अमोनिया है, यूरिक एसिड है, या फिर हम लोग यूरिया कहें, तो इन तीनों में ही, तीनों ही क्या है, नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट है। मेटाबॉलिक प्रोसेस के दौरान ये प्रोड्यूस होते हैं, बॉडी से इनको बॉडी से बाहर रिलीज करना होता है। इट शुड बी रिलीज आउटसाइड द बॉडी। ठीक है, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल if your among all these which one is most toxic, which one is most toxic nitrogen based product among these three, we are not talking about others, we are talking about the main product, main nitrogen product, and among these which one is most toxic? So ammonia is one which is most toxic among these. It is one which is most toxic among this. So most toxic among these three, इन तीनों की बात करेंगे। ठीक है, यूरिक एसिड, अमोनिया और यूरिया में मोस्ट टॉक्सिक कौन है, दैट इज योर मोस्ट टॉक्सिक इज योर अमोनिया। अब अमोनिया, इफ वी नो दैट अमोनिया इज मोस्ट टॉक्सिक, so it require large amount of water to release outside. It require large amount of water to release outside, because if something is most toxic, it need more amount of water to release outside because it is more harmful to the body. So we can say this most toxic ammonia need large amount of water. Need large amount of water to release outside. Right? बाहर रिलीज करना है तो ज्यादा अमाउंट पानी चाहिए ही चाहिए। राइट, ये एक इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट हुआ। तो दैट इज व्हाई अमोनिया is considered as nitrogen based product which is released in mostly in the form of aquatic organisms। तो मोस्टली ये कहां रिलीज होगा, aquatic organism में, फिशेस वगैरह हो गए। ठीक है, तो it is a main nitrogen based product in aquatic organism। First thing is this। Second part, that is your uric acid। And before going to uric acid, I should go toward urea first। As compared to ammonia, we need something which is requiring, as compared to ammonia, less amount of water। as compared to ammonia, less amount of water. What is this? This is your urea, but remember it is requiring water, but it is as compared to ammonia, very less amount. So we can write here like this. So urea is mostly released in case of mammal. We release urea. So urea, those organisms which release urea, they are called uricotalic organism. तो हम कहेंगे यहाँ पे uricotalic organism हो गए. These are ureotalic organism. Right? And as compared to ammonia, they require less amount, because those organisms which do not have sufficient amount of water to release outside, they have a limited amount of water supply in the body, so they convert their nitrogenous product into the urea. For example, if we take example of human beings, in human beings amino acid degraded, breakdown, and ammonia is formed. Now this ammonia is not a waste product in case of your mammal. It should be converted into less toxic form as compared to ammonia, because we cannot store this ammonia as it is, because it's more harmful, more toxic, and it requires large amount of water to release outside. So our body, that is mostly liver, convert it into the less toxic form, that is urea. So urea can be stored for some time in your urinary bladder, and it release outside time to time. So that's why people are ureotalic organism, and this phenomena is called ureotalism, which we are talking about. So most of the mammals are ureotalic. Many terrestrial amphibians too are ureotalic. Marine fish, remember this is the marine fish I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the aquatic fish. Aquatic fishes जो होती हैं, that is means freshwater fish can be better. Freshwater fish. The freshwater fishes are they are monotalic, but marine fishes are ureotalic in nature. Ureotalism show करती हैं. They excrete urea. So this point should be keep in your mind. Yes, what is ureotalism? What is ureotalism? And what is uricotalism? As compared to urea, the uric acid, which is the third component, it is least toxic. It's a least toxic among all these three. And that's why if it is the least toxic, it will need a very less amount of water as compared to urea as well. So those organisms which have scarcity of water, they don't have much water to release outside, and as well, so they release their nitrogen based product in the form of uric acid. Right? Very simple, very easy to learn. Most of the reptiles come in this category, insects come in category. So they release the nitrogen based product mostly in the least toxic form, which is uric acid, and those organisms are uricotalic organism, or phenomena is known as uricotalism. So these all points should be kept, which is one is most toxic, which one is least toxic, right? चलिए next point लिखते हैं. We'll start with the next part. ये क्लियर करते हैं, हम इसको वहां पर रखेंगे, उससे हमारे पास आगे वाले कंटेंट में ये चीजें काम आएंगी. So uricotalism we have done uric acid releasing. So this is called a uricotalism. In case of uricotalism, reptile, bird, and snail. Remember, reptile, bird, and snail. ये तीनों की तीनों क्या हैं? All these three come in the category of uricotalic organism. They release uric acid, which is the least toxic form, and they excrete nitrogen form of uric acid. Right? So remember this point. In case, we can take example here. See, protonephridia or flame cells. What are these? These are the excretory part. In which case these are excretory part? So we can consider, in this we are talking about protonephridia or flame cell. They are present in platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes are called flatworms. Flatworm. Example, planaria. Because आपका बहुत पुराना दोस्त है. This is the planaria. You people have already learned it in class 11th part. This planaria have very good power of regeneration. If you put this planaria into several fragments, each fragment develop into a complete organism. Each fragment develop into complete organism, which is very easy to learn. And but here we are talking about these platyhelminthes, yani ki planaria platform, they secrete their nitrogen based product in the form of what? Yes, याद रखना कि ये भी रिलीज करते हैं बॉडी सरफेस के थ्रू में, ठीक है? कैसे और क्या है? बेसिकली they have specific organs, specific structure, not organ, this is structure कहें, that is called platyhelminthes, right? Rotifers, some annelids and cephalochordates, they come in the category of amphioxus also, and they also maintain their body balance, body osmotically regulatory balance, we can ionic and salt balance, and this is called osmoregulation. So all these protonephridia, what they do, they excreting the substances, they are also responsible for maintaining osmoregulation. What is osmoregulation? Salt and water balance inside the body is called osmoregulation. If water increases or salt decreases, again it responds, they will release outside more and more water. If salt are more and water is less, then also it control this phenomena. So osmoregulation means the controlling the water and mineral concentration inside the body of the organism. So that's why they do. एक पॉइंट हमें समझ आता है कि प्लेनेरिया में जो एक्सक्रीटरी स्ट्रक्चर है, एक्सक्रीटरी ऑर्गन है, दैट इज कॉल्ड फ्लेम सेल. व्हाई इज कॉल्ड फ्लेम सेल? बिकॉज़ लोकेशन, तो यू कैन सी दिस इज द लोकेशन एग्जैक्टली. हियर वी हैव लोकेशन of this flame cell. In this part we have these flame cells exactly. If we enlarge it, we will look like it. This is the flame bulb. So you can see, if you enlarge further, you will see this is it appear like a flame, something which is burning candle like structure. So this is a burning candle like structure. You can see here, this is the flame like structure. So it is something, it is called as simply a flame bulb, or then the whole structure is called flame cells or protonephridia. In case as we go up, as the evolution takes place, there are some changes takes place. Which kind of changes? There would be developmental phases takes place. How the different developmental phases in the excretory structure takes place. And in case of this annelida phylum है, which is in which your earthworm belong. So this earthworm have excretory structure which is called nephridia. So these nephridias are present here in this particular portion. You can see here, these are the nephridia. So these nephridia are generally called tubular excretory structure. This is called tubular excretory structure because they appear as a tubes like structure. So these nephridia, you can see at this particular point. So here we have these tubes like this, right, and which is mainly responsible for the excretion, and it has opening. They're releasing their content through an opening, which opening, this is a, we can see these are opening a particular point. So these openings, through which this opening, they secreting the content outside the body. So nephridia are, we can say nephridia are excretory tubular structure. They are present mostly in earthworm and other annelids as well, right? And they remove nitrogenous waste. They also maintain your fluid and ionic balance. That means we can say also, again, it also maintain osmoregulation. So it is an osmoregulatory organ as well, excretory as well as osmoregulatory. In lower organism, in vertebrates or lower organism, we generally use the word osmoregulation majorly because their osmoregulation means osmolarity maintain karna, salt and water balance. So this is the basic phenomena and the basic structure in the case of annelids. When we move ahead, when we study more evolutions takes place, and in case of your insects, we have spatial structure which are excretory in structure, or they're basically excretory structures, and they release their nitrogen waste product here with the help of Malpighian tubules. So Malpighian tubules are found in cockroach. As we can see here, cockroach and other insect, these Malpighian tubule excrete nitrogen waste product, as well as it also maintains osmoregulation. So we can see at this particular point, these are the Malpighian tubule. Yeah. So these are the malfeasance tubule basically which absorb the nitrogen waste product or the waste product which is present in the surrounding fluid. So once they observe, it convert into the nitrogen waste product basically and release outside the body in the form of uric acid mainly. So they are uricotalic as we know. In case of prawn, in case of prawn, what is the excretory structure? As we know, in case of insect, it is your malphizian tubule. In case of earthworm, we have nephridia, which are tubular excretory structure. In case of your protonephridia, we have flame cell, because these are the protonephridias, that means flame cells. In case of your coelenterate, in case of coriferas, the body surface act as a excretory part, or we can say it is a diffusion of the excretory material takes place. But in case of flame cell, we have specialized structure called protonephridia. In case of your earthworm or annelid, we have specialized structure called nephridia. And in case of malphizian tubule, that is your, in case of insect, we have specialized structure called malphizian tubule, which is excretory in function. But in case of your prawn, right, prawn, we have a more advanced structure which is called green gland or antennal gland. Where this antennal gland is located in case of prawn, you can see this is the position exactly here. This is the particular portion where these antennal glands are present, and these antennal glands are called green glands, also called green gland. Very important question asked several times. So these, if we draw the diagram or complete diagram of this antennal gland, you can find it like this. This is the excretory pore through which the content is released outside, right? And these are nephridial canal. These are the nephridial canal basically, and this is the basic portion and it's the end sac. So this complete structure is present here, and this is your what, green gland. Appearance is green in color, and that's why, and it's have a bladder part and excretory port as well. So that is how it secrete or excrete. When we should call excrete, because it's not a secretory component, it's excrete nitrogen waste product in the, right. Now these are the part in different organism. Now we are going to start your human excretory system, which is very important to learn. आपको अच्छे से लर्न करना है, इसको याद रखना है एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम को, राइट। तो ह्यूमन एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम आपने पढ़ा है, काफी पहले भी पढ़ा है, रिवाइज भी किया होगा, तो थोड़ा सा देखेंगे, आसानी से याद रहेगा इसको। See, in case of human excretory system, which is consist of what? It consists of number one, pair of kidney, दोनों साइड प्रेजेंट हैं, रेट्रोपेरिटोनियल इन पोजीशन, सपोर्टेड होती हैं आपके ये लास्ट वाली जो होती है 11th and 12th पेयर ऑफ रिब्स, राइट, विच इज द फ्लोटिंग रिब, वो आपको दोनों साइड से इसको प्रोटेक्ट कर रही होती है। तो इट इज प्रोटेक्टेड बाय द 12th 11th and 12th पेयर ऑफ रिब, विच इज कॉल्ड द floating ribs, protected by this, and these are pair, they are present in pair, yani both side we have one, and from the kidney a pair of ureter, each kidney there is a, we can see the diagram here, this is your one kidney and here we have another one. These two kidneys, from these two kidney there is a one duct is coming out, this duct is called ureter, which is coming from each kidney. So we have a pair of ureter, one is here and second is here. So the process of filtration of blood takes place inside kidney and a specific structure which is called the nephrons. We call it nephron, or we also call urinoferous tubules भी कहते हैं. So the process of filtration, process of purification भी कह सकते हैं. Basically we should use the word filtration. So this filtration process takes place inside your these kidneys structural and functional unit, that is called nephrons, which is present here. We will study all what are the different kind of nephrons in human body. They are cortical nephron, they have just a medullary nephrons. Okay, we will study later on, but before to it we should know this is the your kidney located here, pelvic region, and this is the ureter which is coming out. Both ureter combined in or open into a, not combined, open into a specific structure called urinary bladder. So just see the structure at this particular point. Say this is the urinary bladder which is coming out like this, and this is the second urinary bladder which is coming like this, and they get open into a urinary bladder. They secreting or releasing their content into the urinary bladder. Okay? And this is the whole structure of urinary bladder, and this is a part where the urethra start. Lower most end of the urinary bladder forming a small opening and canal-like structure which is called urethra, through which the urine is released. In case of male, in case of female, this urethra size vary करता है. Female में the size of urethra is short. In case of male, it's a long. It comes across the penis as well, which is called penile urethra. Later we'll discuss. Now, you can see here, the inferior vena cava is a vein. Yes, it's a vein which is carrying the blood in injection blood here. So inferior vena cava is here, superior vena cava is here. So blood from these blood vessels pour into the or come into the blood. That is your simply kidney and filtration process start here. So we can say, the human FU system consists of one pair of kidney, one pair of ureter, one urinary bladder, and one urethra. ठीक है, तो ये चीजें हमें याद रखनी है properly. Now moving to the next part. See, if we study kidney, the kidney is reddish brown bean shape. So you can see it is a reddish brown, and the shape of this kidney is like bean. So the bean shaped kidney, right? Situated where? It is situated just between the last thoracic and third lumbar vertebra. What is this location? Last thoracic vertebra. We have know that in a human body, the vertebral column is divided into different parts. Cervical vertebra, 7 vertebra there. Then we have thoracic vertebra. Thoracic vertebra are 12 in number. So last thoracic vertebra, that means 12th vertebra. And then we have started lumbar region or lumbar vertebra. The lumbar vertebra are 5 in number. So we can say, yes, we can say here, the last thoracic vertebra, that means we are talking about T12. We are talking about T12, thoracic last vertebra T12, and third lumbar L3. So T12 to L1, L2, and then L3. So this is the reason. This is the reason exactly. Yani T12 to L3, the space between them. So this is the reason exactly where your kidney are located in a vertebral column के पास में vertebra के location है just कितना नीचे है कितना ऊपर है. It's like this. But this kidney is protected by your exactly लास्ट थोरासिक का जो पार्ट में जो आपकी जो रिब के चारी नीचे की तरफ 11th and 12th वो इसको प्रोटेक्ट कर रही है. यहां पर आप देखेंगे तो दिस इज द लास्ट वन. फ्लोटिंग रिब्स आर प्रोटेक्टिंग इट इज हियर, राइट? सो यू कैन सी द कॉर्टेक्स पोर्शन. इफ वी ड्रॉ द डायग्राम, यू कैन सी द डायग्राम एज वेल हियर. यहां पे बहुत इजी हो जाएगा समझना भी आपको. देखो ये आउटर मोस्ट पोर्शन है. दिस इज द आउटर मोस्ट पोर्शन. So this outermost portion is called cortex. This is the cortex portion. The kidney is divided in two parts. That is the cortical part and the medullary part. So this is the cortex portion, like this. And this cortex portion is simply, we can see it is penetrating or moving downside here in this medullary part, and it is forming what? It's forming a column-like structure which is called renal column of Botany. We will discuss. These are renal column of Botany, which are what is? These are the extension of cortical part into the medullary region. So here we have renal column of Botany. So we have seen the your cortical region of the kidney. Now moving to the medullary part. So see this region, which is known as medullary part. This particular part is medullary part. This is known as medullary part. So in this medullary part, you can say this is a whole region is medullary region. This complete portion is medullary part, exactly. Right? In this medullary part, there is a location or there is a presence of some pyramid-like structure. You can see this is a pyramid-like structure which is present here in your medullary region. We call it as, or we known as it as a renal pyramid, or we can say also call it medullary pyramid, because these renal pyramid are present in medullary region. So we call it as a medullary pyramid, right? And third part, so we have seen cortex region, we have seen medullary region, we have seen your medullary pyramid portion in your kidney, and then we can move one more thing here, renal capsule. So what is renal capsule here? Renal capsule is something which is present outside. That means in enclosing, it is enclosing your kidney. So act as a capsule like structure, a covering like structure, which is enclosing your kidney. So this is called renal capsule. Renal capsule. Then we move inside. Inside part, we have this pelvis region. This is the renal pelvis portion exactly. This is the renal pelvis portion exactly here. Right? This is the renal pelvis portion. And this is the renal artery, which is carrying blood inside for purification. The blood is coming inside for the purification like this, and blood which is going out is through the renal vein. Renal vein, right? The blood is going out through the renal vein. The renal vein is carrying blood outside, and renal artery carrying blood inside for purification of the removing of the waste material, removing of the excess glucose, removing of the urea mainly. कुछ salt हो सकते हैं. There may be some salt which are in higher concentration, which should not be present in the blood for a long time. They removed here. So whatever which is in large concentration and which is above the concentration of the blood, that is concentration or composition of blood, that is removed in the kidney. So we can see we study here some more point also. These renal medullary pyramid are forming a renal calyces. So these small points at this particular point, we have minor calyces. This particular point is called minor calyces. This particular point is minor calyces. So the point where the region where exactly your renal medullary pyramid merge with this lower portion, this is the minor calyces, and these minor calyces combine together and they form a major calyces. So minor calyces and major calyces, to the calyces are the two part exactly here, okay, and they are finally merged into a renal pyramid, renal your pelvis portion exactly. तो किडनी में आपके कुछ पोर्शंस हुए, मेडुलरी पोर्शन हुआ, कॉर्टेक्स पोर्शन हुआ, medullary pyramid हो गया. Then we have your renal calyces, minor calyces and major calyces, and so on. And we have studied the blood vessel which is carrying the blood for filtration, renal artery, and then the blood which is coming going out to renal vein. So and we have also studied the position of the kidney. So it is present between the T12 region to L3 region. T12 means thoracic वर्टिब्रा 12 का रीजन हो गया बॉडी में, या लगभग उसके नीचे L1, L2, L3. तो T1, T12 to L3 रीजन तक ये प्रेजेंट रहती है in this position. Now moving to the next part. What is the exact measurement? What is the size of the ovary, that is your kidney here? तो 10 to 12 centimeter length about रहेगा इसका, widthness is about 5 to 7 centimeter, thickness is about 2 to 3 centimeter. तो ऐसे सच बहुत नहीं, बहुत ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस पे आते हैं, लेकिन if NCERT is given है तो you should learn. Weight is about 120 से 170 grams. What is hilum? Hilum is inner concave surface of kidney, a notch-like structure. You can see this portion at this particular part. This is particular part, we can say this region is hilum. This particular region is hilum. We can say the hilum is a portion of the kidney through which your blood vessel, this particular blood vessels are emerging. They are entering inside the kidney and removing or coming out from the kidney. So this particular region from which your blood vessel enter and come out, that region is called hilum. So this is your hilum portion. So hilum is this portion exactly. Second one, ureter is there. We know it. What is ureter? What is the blood vessel which is coming and leaving? And nerve supply is also there. Inner to hilum, there's a broad funnel-shaped portion called renal pelvis. We have studied the renal pelvis. Projections are there, calyces. These calyces are divided in two parts: minor calyces, and major calyces. Minor calyces and major calyces are the two calyces which is the extension or the projection of the medullary pyramid. We can say, see, this is the medullary pyramid. See, this is the one medullary pyramid. We have another medullary pyramid like this. I will draw one more here, so I can show you where is the location of these calyces. So these are what? These are the medullary pyramid. Right. As these medullary pyramid are here, they communicate into a region. This particular region is your minor calyces. This region is your minor calyces. This is your minor calyces, right? So this is minor calyces. This is minor calyces. So many minor calyces are here, which are communicating with the renal medullary pyramid, and these minor calyces, they are communicating with a large section, a large part, which is called major calyces. So this the larger one, say this one, is in which your two or more calyces are combined. So it forming a larger part, which is called major calyces. So we can say the content from this medullary pyramid move to the minor calyces, and the several minor calyces, 2 or 3 minor calyces combining, and they release their content into the major calyces. So now finally this major calyces, we have several major calyces in the kidney. These major calyces now finally lead into a portion that is a renal pelvis. So we can say the communication is from medullary pyramid, it communicate with the minor calyces communicate with the major calyces, and the finally major calyces communicate with the what? Renal pelvis region. So now you can understand what are these points, and keep in mind, now the major calyces is clear, minor calyces is clear, renal pelvis is clear, projection is clear, outer layer of the kidney, which is forming a tough capsule like structure, and which is called renal capsule here. Now see, we have studied the two zones here. The outer zone is called cortex, inner zone is called medulla. So you can easily see the location I have drawn earlier as well. The calyx portion, cortex portion, and medullary portion. So this particular portion is your cortex, and this particular portion below it is your medulla. This is your medullary part. The whole region, starting from this is the whole region is your medulla. The outer portion is cortex, inner portion is medulla. Medulla is further divided into conical masses. These are the conical masses or conical structure, pyramid-like structure, which is called medullary pyramid. And what are column of Botany? So remember, I have told you. Yes, can you tell me what is column of Botany here? What is the column of Botany here? We have discussed the cortex. This is the cortex portion, and you can see this cortex portion is extending. This cortex portion is extending into the medullary part, and it forming column-like structure. So this column-like structure, this particular column-like structure, here we have column-like structure in which your cortex portion is extending into medulla, right? And this column-like structure is known as your renal column of Botany. These column. So we can say these are renal column of Botany. So we know where is renal column of Botany present, what is medullary pyramid, what are conical masses, that is your this one, and we know medulla region we divided, and inner and outer region we have. So we know that in a single kidney we have millions of nephrons are here, and nephrons are kidney structural and functional unit. It's a kidney structural and functional unit, And if we study the nephron part or nephron structure, it has glomerulus, which is a tuft of capillary. We can have diagram here. देखते हैं diagram, यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा idea लगेगा. So you can see blood is coming inside kidney with the help of a efferent arteriole. This arteriole it is a division of artery which is carrying the blood inside. So blood is coming inside into this nephron, right? This is a part of nephron which is called Bowman capsule. So this is coming with the help of afferent arteriole. Yes, with the help of afferent arteriole. So diameter of afferent arteriole, say this is the diameter of afferent arteriole is more as compared to efferent arteriole. यहाँ diameter देखो, diameter कितना कम है इसका, और यहाँ diameter ज्यादा है. यानी if more is the diameter of afferent arteriole, यहाँ देख सकते हो diameter कैसा है इसका, diameter यहाँ पे जाता है. तो if diameter of this afferent arteriole is more, so more and more amount of blood come into this glomerulus or this Bowman capsule. Okay, more and more amount of blood come into this glomerulus. What is glomerulus exactly? These afferent arterioles come inside and taking blood. It is finally divided here into the fine tubes. So these fine tubes of capillary, tuft of capillary, which is here, right? And they have pores inside it. So that process of filtration takes place from this capillary into a capsule-like structure which is called Bowman capsule. So process of filtration exactly takes place here. Blood along with the nutrient and major component of blood is filtered here. Remaining only the large size protein we do not filtered here. Other major RBCs do not come here, right? Otherwise, majority of the proteins, small size proteins and minerals, vitamins, all major component, urea, ammonia, everything, whatever it is, it's come in this portion, and it is filtered here and come inside this portion. This cup-like structure. So this cup-like structure is now, which is carrying this filtrate, and is known as Bowman capsule, Bowman's capsule. So Bowman capsule are basically the structure which is cup-like structure, which is having the filtrate here, and this filtrate comes from the tuft of capillaries, which is called glomerulus. So this is your glomerulus exactly. This tuft of capillary is called glomerulus. How this glomerulus formed? This glomerulus formed by the division of afferent arteriole. So what is afferent arteriole? The arteriole which is carrying blood from outside and is dividing into it comes inside your nephron, right, structural unit, and it forming a tuft of capillary which is called glomerulus. And this tuft of capillary is having small pores through which the filtration process takes place. And now once the filtration done, your blood is moving back and come out of kidney through a efferent arteriole. So what is efferent arteriole and what is afferent arteriole? Afferent arterioles through which the blood is coming inside the Bowman capsule or nephron. Efferent arteriole is through which the blood is moving outside. And you can see the difference in the diameter. Here the diameter of afferent arteriole, which is carrying blood toward the glomerulus or nephron, is more, and the diameter of the efferent arteriole is less. So when the blood is coming more and moving out is less, because this out pathway is very less or very narrow. So the pressure increases in this part, which is called glomerulus. Due to this pressure, filtration process is done, and due to this filtration, the filtrate is formed here, and this is the accumulation of filtrate in this part, which is called glomerulus, which is called your Bowman capsule now. And now this filtrate is called primary filtrate. And it's moving down. Into the proximal convoluted tubule. The PCTs are there, which is the convoluted tubule, which are very proximal part of the your nephron, and it is present near your glomerulus exactly, or Bowman capsules, which is called proximal convoluted tubule, and where the more majority of filtrate comes, and again reabsorption process also takes place here. So see, this is the diagram. This is the diagram of glomerulus. So is it clear? क्या glomerulus point clear हुआ? First you have to know what is glomerulus. Is it clear? Number two, Bowman capsule is, what is Bowman capsule? It should be clear. What is afferent arteriole? It should be clear. What is efferent arteriole? It should be clear. Diameter of afferent arteriole is more as compared to efferent arteriole. It should be in mind, right? Because it creates pressure. That is the reason why in your glomerulus the filtration takes place, and in your Bowman capsule most of the filtrate come and it move downside to the proximal convoluted tubule. This point is clear exactly? Yes बच्चों, इतना क्लियर है? जल्दी से बताओ, क्या इतना क्लियर? तो आगे चलें. यस सतप्रीत, बिट्सी.
Yes, sir.
ओके बिट्सी, इज इट क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
फाइन. तो सबसे पहले आपको ये पता होना चाहिए, याद होना चाहिए कि व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ फिल्ट्रेशन, वेयर द प्रोसेस फिल्ट्रेशन टेक्स प्लेस. तो फिल्ट्रेट इज फॉर्म्ड हियर. This is the filtrate which is formed here in this region, which is called Bowman capsule. Now this filtrate moved into the tubule, and the first tubule where it reached is proximal convoluted tubule. We'll study the diagram of this convoluted tubule. See, so how this urine formation takes place, I will show you some tubular diagram first and then move ahead. So देखो यहाँ पर आपको थोड़ा मिलेगा. So this is what, this is your Bowman capsule. This is your Bowman capsule, which we have said. This red portion is your glomerulus. Blood is coming like this. Blood is coming like this. In this portion, filtration takes place. Filtrate come in this yellow portion, which is called Bowman capsule, and move down, come downside. So जब ये नीचे आएगा तो यहाँ पर here this part is your proximal tubule. ठीक है, proximal convoluted tubule is this. So this is your PCT. PCT means proximal convoluted tubule, and blood filtrate come here in this proximal tubule. From this proximal tubule it move downside, but before moving to the downside into the this vasa, this your descending tubule and ascending tubule, the major process of absorption, reabsorption takes place. Because you can see here along with this yellow tube, some red color or dark color tube is also running. What is this? This is your blood vessel exactly. So you can see the blood vessel which is coming like this. It is nothing. It is the afferent arteriole, which is efferent arteriole, which is coming outside from glomerulus, and this efferent arteriole now running parallel to the proximal convoluted tubule, and here the process of reabsorption takes place. Again, the content which is present in your proximal convoluted tubule reabsorb back into the your blood vessel. Now the blood vessel or capillaries which is present parallel to the PCT is called as, yes, we call as peritubular blood capillary, yeah, peritubular blood vessels. So the process of reabsorption, that means nutrient which come in the PCT, vitamins, minerals, right, which are very much essential for the process of growth and development. It should not come inside urine. It should not come inside urine. It should be present there. It should be present in blood. So from the PCT, the content reabsorb again back into the blood. We are using the word reabsorption, not absorption, reabsorption, because from this filtrate, from this glomerulus, filtrate come into the PCT, and now it's coming back into the blood. It's coming from the blood, and now from PCT is coming back into the blood. So word we should use the word reabsorption, not absorption. So the content which is going back into the blood, into your peritubular blood capillary, is reabsorption phenomena. Majority of nutrients reabsorb here, vitamin, mineral, macronutrient, proteins, amino acids reabsorb. Only those content will be remain in your PCT which should be released outside. कुछ salt concentration हो गए, ammonia हो गया, if is there, ammonia if is there, mostly it is the urea, but some ammonia is also there, some ammonia is also there, urea is there, okay? Some ketone body is also there, which should be released outside, some harmful drug should be there, which should be released outside. So those which is not, which should not be present in blood, they retain here. And now the content or the filtrate which is present in PCT start moving down. So this is what, this is, we can say this is your descending tubule, this is your descending tubule, descending tubule. From this descending tubule, your filtrate is moving down. And here, this is particular U-tube like structure, because at this point it's moving up like this. It's moving up like this. So this is the descending tubule where the filtrate is moving down, where the filtrate is moving down, and this is your ascending tubule, yellow one, which is carrying the filtrate up. But during this process of descending down, ascending down through this loop, this is your U-tube exactly, which is called loop of Hanley. We also call loop of Hanley, right? So this descending tubule, ascending tubule, in this part exactly, again reabsorption process takes place. Water reabsorption takes place, salt reabsorption takes place in this part exactly. So now the water reabsorption and salt reabsorption take place. After that, the filtrate move into this descending. This is your distal convoluted tubule. This is a DCT. We call it as a DCT. And DCT is what? DCT is called descending distal convoluted tubule. तो हम यहाँ लिखेंगे क्या? Distal convoluted tubule. So this was your proximal and this is your distal. So both tubules are here, but major reabsorption takes place in PCT, not in DCT. DCT also reabsorption takes place, but some salt and water reabsorption continue here under the influence of ADH hormone, under the influence of a ADH hormone, which is called antidiuretic hormone. ADH is also called vasopressin. It is called vasopressin, which is full form of ADH is antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone, right? It causes antidiuresis. Antidiuresis means exactly when there is a release of more amount of water in urine, it causes diuresis, and when more amount of urine release outside, it will cause diuresis. Diuresis means dilute urine formation. More amount of water is released outside, which should not be there, because when you are not taking water in proper amount, if you are taking very less amount of water, and in that condition, if under the influence of under normal condition, if water is moving more and more amount, or dilute urine is moving, is releasing outside, that may cause your lack of water in your body. It may cause dehydration. Okay, so prevent this dehydration process. ADH hormone, this ADH hormone is released from the posterior lobe of pituitary. So your neurohypophysis or posterior lobe of pituitary release ADH hormone, and this ADH hormone causes antidiuresis. What is antidiuresis? That is reabsorption of water from this collecting duct and your DCT back into the blood, so that water release or water secretion should be minimized. Water retention is maintained, because we are not taking large amount of water, so it should be retained inside body. So that is why, and mostly this ADH is released when you are not taking large amount of water in your body. That is the reason. We are not taking, when you are not drinking water in sufficient amount, in this condition, your ADH starts secreting and concentrating your urine. So now first we should know what is this. We know that at this particular PCT reabsorption process takes place, and what is reabsorption exactly, how much reabsorption takes place. So first you should know the filtrate which is formed. I will just remove it and repeat again. See, filtrate which is formed per day. Where the filtration takes place? At this point. At this point filtration takes place. That means from the glomerulus to the Bowman capsule, the amount of fluid come, that is called filtrate. So in a one day, 180 liter filtrate is formed. in a one day, on a single day, in a particular day. There is a 180 liter per day. So, sir, blood is in totality, blood is 5.5 liter. How this 180 liter per day filtrate will form? So the answer is the process of filtration is continue. Blood come into the glomerulus in this part, filtration done, and again reabsorption done. Reabsorption take place PCT, DCT, as a collecting duct, some reabsorption take descending ascending tubule also reabsorption take place. So this reabsorbed content come back into the blood. Again this blood is coming and again filtrate is forming. So as a whole, the amount of filtrate in a one day, it would be 180 liter, right? Out of this 180 liter filtrate which is formed in a day, only which amount of urine released outside? That is only 1.5. That means 1.5 liter के आसपास 1.5 liter urine is released outside in a day. If you're taking proper amount of water, that means 1.5 liter urine will be released, and 180 liter per day filtrate will form. So we can say about 99% filtrate is reabsorbed. And where this reabsorption is takes place, answer is again PCT. PCT is the region where maximum reabsorption takes place. Both process, active as well as passive. Active process reabsorption means those materials which are not absorbed by passive process, and they should be present in blood, right? It should not be released outside the body. Just like proteins हो गए, amino acids हो गए, vitamins हो गए, minerals हो गए, if they are already present in the body in higher concentration, in blood in higher concentration, and even though they come in the PCT, and if it is not reabsorbed, it will come into the urine, and if they goes into urine, that means deficiency symptom will arise. So they should be reabsorbed back with the energy consumption. That is called active transport. So active transport as well as passive transport both are involved in the reabsorption phenomena. Finally, we have mechanism. We have active and passive mechanism of reabsorption. We have glucose reabsorbed, amino acid reabsorbed, sodium ions, potassium ions, chloride ions, vitamins, minerals. There both lots of things are there which are reabsorbed here. Now moving to this part, you can understand how the reabsorption process taking place. What are the here reabsorption takes place? This is your Bowman capsule, and this is your glomerulus. Now this particular tube is called PCT. In this PCT, we can say the something is moving out. Something is moving out back into the blood. So the something which is moving out back into the blood is shown by this arrow, particular arrow. That is called reabsorption. So reabsorption of bicarbonate ion, reabsorption of sodium chloride, reabsorption of water, reabsorption of nutrient, जैसे glucose, carbohydrate and vitamin minerals, all those, reabsorption of sodium ion, potassium ion, as well as. So all these are reabsorbed back into the blood to maintain the integrity, to maintain the composition of the blood. Some amount, so say example H plus ion, protons and ammonia from the blood come into the proximal tubule. So the arrow which is showing here, that's ammonia and H plus ion, both from the blood back move into the PCT, because ammonia is not required, and as well as excess amount of H plus ion should not be present there, should not be present in blood. It should be released outside the body, that is in your PCT. So PCT is the site, remember PCT is the site where maximum reabsorption takes place. ये हमें याद रखना अच्छे से कि maximum reabsorption कहाँ होगा, तो maximum reabsorption होगा PCT में. किसी तरह से हो रहा है, vitamins हैं, minerals हैं, potassium ion है, water है, nutrient है, sodium chloride है, bicarbonate ions हैं, they all reabsorb back into the blood to maintain the integrity, to maintain the composition of the blood, right? And from the blood, ammonia and H plus ion वापस इसमें आ जाएगा, ठीक है? Now, whatever the content now, this filter is now moving down. It's moving down like this. This is your descending tubule. This one is your, you can say here, यहाँ दिखाई तो मैं आपको properly. This one is your descending tubule. Descending, which is coming downside, called descending tubule. This descending tubule part is mostly, and this is the ascending tubule as well, which is coming upside, and this part is called loop of Henle. U-tube like, it's U-tube like, it's a loop of Henle. So loop of Henle, descending tubule and ascending tubule, both all these parts are present in the medullary region. So if I simply draw a markation here, I will draw a line here, this particular part pe. This is the cortical region or cortex wala part. This line is the division part, we can say. So above this line is cortical region. So inside cortical region, we have what? We have your glomerulus, we have your Bowman capsule. We call it as a combinedly Malpighian tubule, right? Or renal tubule, Malpighian tubules, Malpighian body. PCT is present in cortex. This part is present in cortex. DCT, this particular descending tubule is also present in your proximal tubule, and descending to your distal tubule. Both are present in your cortex. Descending and ascending part, descending tubule and ascending tubule, plus loop of Henle, as well as some part of the collecting duct, major part of the collecting duct is present in the medullary region. Is present in your medullary region. Medulla. So in cortex we have small part of collecting duct plus your distal tubule DCT plus your PCT and this glomerulus Bowman capsule, right? In your medullary part, descending, ascending, and collecting duct are major part. So this is how your major partition takes place. Now see the absorption reabsorption phenomena. We know that here maximum reabsorption takes place when filtration is moving down. In this descending tubule, water reabsorption takes place. That means descending tubule is permeable for water. It's permeable for water. Permeable for water. That is why water from this descending tubule will reabsorb into the blood, because along this side by side where we have a vasa recta is here, that means blood vessel is also running here. So from this tubule, descending tubule, water move out and move inside the blood vessel, and this phenomenon is called reabsorption of water. So we can say in your descending tubule, reabsorption of water takes place. Now maximum water is reabsorbed. Now filtrate become concentrated, more concentrated at this point, at this particular U-tube or loop of Henle. Particularly, we have more concentrated filtrate here, more concentrated. Why? Here the absorption of water takes place. Here more water absorption takes place. So more and more water is reabsorbing from this part. More and more water is coming out. H2O, like this. H2O. This is H2O. Here H2O. Here vessel H2O. So you can see more and more water is reabsorbed from the filtrate and move back into the blood. So more and more concentrated urine, more and more concentrated filtrate is forming, and then this move into the ascending part. This is ascending tubule. This is ascending tubule. This ascending tubule or ascending tubule is not exactly permeable for water. So no more water removal, water reabsorption takes place in this. In ascending tubule, which is not permeable for water, so here you cannot see, you can't see any removal of water here. No, only water removal or water reabsorption takes place in descending tubule, not in ascending tubule. So ascending tubule is, in this case, ascending tubule is permeable for salt. So we can write here, ascending tubule is permeable for salt. I'm writing here. Ascending tubule is permeable for salt. Sodium chloride, sodium salt, potassium chloride, potassium salt. So whatever the amount of salt present in this filtrate, as it move up, more and more salt come out and move into the blood. So whatever is coming from out from this, it move into the fluid, and from fluid it's moving to the blood. So directly moving to the blood. So that's why more and more salt is comes out and move into the blood. That is how. As we move ahead, the salt concentration decreases. Salt concentration decreases in case of your ascending tubule. But in case of descending tubule, as we move down, water concentration decreases. Right? Water concentration decreases. Right? Down, because water is reabsorbing. But in case of as we move up, salt concentration decreases. So the amount of water which is required in this filtrate is retained here, and maximum reabsorption take place here as well. Now, as a filtrate reach to this part, what is this part? This is your distal convoluted tubule. In this distal convoluted tubule, again, some salt, say sodium chloride, if it is retained here, and it should be released outside, more amount of sodium chloride. So this sodium chloride is again move into the blood from DCT. Water may also reabsorb into the blood, as well as some bicarbonate ion is also removed. Only potassium ion and H plus ion reabsorb here, right? Is reabsorbed back into the tubule. Otherwise, major things, sodium chloride, water, and bicarbonate ion removed from the DCT and move back into the blood. Mostly this sodium, this water is released and reabsorbed under the influence of ADH hormone. ADH. So when ADH is secreted, more and more water from this move into the blood. Maximum concentration of urine is formed. Water released inside the body, outside the body through this in the form of urine would be considered urine under the influence of ADH hormone. याद रहेगा तो ADH के प्रेजेंस में more and more water will reabsorb back into the blood. So now the filtrate come into this collecting duct. It will move into the collecting duct now. In this collecting duct, several DCTs are connecting. One DCT may connect here, one more DCT is connecting here. So from the several collecting, this collecting duct receive the urine from different DCT. So one collecting duct have several connections of DCTs of different nephrons. So collecting duct is the reason where the blood is collecting, urine is collecting and move downside. Again, we know that in this collecting duct, again reabsorption of water takes place. So here water is reabsorbed under the influence of hormone ADH. So ADH hormone again working here on this collecting duct and reabsorption of water takes place. तो आपके माइंड में दो चीज आनी चाहिए क्या कि बेसिकली वाटर का रीअब्जॉर्प्शन दोबारा एक तो कलेक्टिंग डक्ट पर हो रहा है यानी यहां पर, और दूसरा पीसीटी या डीसीटी पे हो रहा है. पीसीटी में तो वाटर का अब्जॉर्प्शन नहीं है, यहां पर डीसीटी में है. लेकिन डीसीटी और कलेक्टिंग डक्ट में if water is reabsorbing, it is under the influence of ADH hormone, antidiuretic hormone, which is secreted by your which one, pituitary, posterior pituitary, right? यानी कि which one, neurohypophysis. So we can say this reabsorption part. So reabsorb actively, nitrogen waste reabsorb, passive water passively initiate signal of nephron, and during urine formation we know that tubular cells secrete H plus ion, potassium ion, means cells which is present outside in here this region, they secrete H plus ion, potassium ion and ammonia into filtrate, and this filtrate carries this potassium ion and H plus ion outside the body. So that is how the process of filtration taking place in this part. Now what is the function of tubules? Whatever we have learned here, whatever we have learned in this diagram, that is written here. So what are tubules? Tubules means PCT is tubule. PCT is which part? This part is PCT, proximal tubule. This is distal tubule. So all these PCT and DCT are we can also call as tubules. So function of tubule are number one, PCT. It is lined by, which is very important question. You should remember. Your PCT region is lined by simple cuboidal brush bordered epithelium. Remember, yani ki we can say this particular region PCT having which kind of cell? This is your simple cuboidal brushed border epithelium. Because of this brushed border, surface area of reabsorption increases. So more and more amount of water, more and more amount of salt, and as well as nutrient back, it will reabsorb back into the blood. Increase the surface of area for reabsorption, and this essential nutrient, that means vitamin, mineral, glucose, fatty acid, which if it is there, it is reabsorbed back into the blood, right? 70 to 80% of electrolyte is also reabsorbed. Water reabsorption takes place by this pigment. So all these points, all these reabsorption takes place majorly in your PCT part. Now maintain this reabsorption, maintain the pH and ionic balance of the body fluid by selective resecretion of hydrogen ion and ammonia, potassium ion into filtrate. Some amount of thing, this, you see this point, some amount of H plus ion and ammonium ion is coming back into the PCT part, because this ammonium ion is not required by the blood and H plus ion is not required. So from blood, these H plus ion and ammonium ion is moving, it is absorbed into the PCT, because PCT, through PCT it will move into the next part. Okay, so ammonium, potassium ion into filtrate and absorption of bicarbonate from it. Now descending limb of loop of Henle, as we have discussed, in case of descending loop of Henle, which is permeable to water. What is descending one? Descending one is this one. This tubule is descending tubule, and we already know this tubule is permeable for water because water is coming out from it, so it's permeable for water, which is written here. It's permeable for water and impermeable for salt or electrolyte. So electrolyte cannot move outside it. It is impermeable to this, but is permeable to the water. Now, as filtrate down through this descending tubule, due to the reabsorption of water, more and more concentrated filtrate will form. More and more concentration increases downside. And now we are talking about ascending limb. It is impermeable to water. First thing, it allows transport of electrolyte actively as well as passively. Filtrate passes upward, right? Passes electrolyte to the medullary fluid, because the things which is move into the medullary region, because you can say here this all part, descending and ascending part or tubule, present in which region? Medullary region. So whatever the content is moved from this outside, first move into the medullary region. From medullary region, where the blood vessel is present, it will move into the blood vessel. Now talking about ascending limb, we know the ascending limb is impermeable to water, but it is permeable for the salt. So process takes place. Now talking about the DCT. What is DCT? DCT is the distal common tubule. Here the conditional reabsorption of sodium ion and water takes place under the influence of which we say here conditional. Why conditional? Because we are talking about here presence of ADH. When ADH secretion takes place from the neurohypophysis, yani posterior pituitary, the sodium ion and water is reabsorption takes place. Okay? And bicarbonate is reabsorbed back. Selective selection of hydrogen ion, potassium ion, and ammonium ion, it is secreted. That means from the blood, it is released, it is secreted, and come into the DCT. So whenever the word secretion means release. Selective secretion of H plus ion, potassium ion, and ammonia means it is released from the blood and come into the DCT. Right? Remember. And sodium and potassium, sodium only, sodium and water, reabsorb back into the blood. These 2 points should be keep in mind. What is collecting duct? We have a long duct, which is collecting duct. Several DCTs are merging in it and releasing their content into the collecting duct. And this collecting duct having a large amount of water as well. It is having a urea as well as the urine. The urea into the medullary institution and maintain the osmolarity, and again maintain the pH and ionic balance. So urea is there, and it is some amount of urea is also present in blood, which also maintain osmolarity, because you can say all urea do not come out in urine. Some amount of urea may be present in your medullary interstitium and maintain the osmolarity there. So now this process we have done. This is the your Bowman capsule. Inner one is your glomerulus. This is your proximal tubule. Here the osmolarity, that is the concentration of the fluid, is about 300 millimole. When moving down, because of the removal of water, osmolarity increases. That means concentration increases. Concentration reaches to 600, 800, 900, and then 1200 milliosmol per liter. Because in the descending lane, there is a removal of water. We can say reabsorption of water take place. The water concentration decreases as we down. Concentration increased up to the 200 millimole, 200 osmomole, right? And then this is ascending tubule. This ascending tubule is permeable for the salt and not permeable for water. So when from concentration from which is about 1200, it decreases to 600, 400, and then 200 finally, because salt are removing out, salt are coming out, and these salt move into the corresponding blood vessels. So these are the blood vessels which are present here parallel to these. So the content from this is come into the blood vessels. So that is how the concentration decreases and again reaches to 200 millimole per liter at this particular DCT. And again, we can say that at DCT, we know that some amount of water and some amount of sodium chloride is reabsorbed only in the presence of ADH hormone. So it is a conditional approach. It's a conditional approach. This particular portion is present in cortex. That is your Bowman capsule, some part PCT, DCT, okay? And cortex also having some part of your collecting duct. Rather, the lower portion, this portion is present in outer medulla and this inner medulla, right? So again, in this collecting duct, which is major portion of collecting duct present in outer medulla and inner medulla, here the reabsorption of water takes place under the influence of ADH hormone. So more and more water is reabsorbed to prevent excessive loss of water in urine, and this is done in the presence of ADH hormone. When ADH hormone is not secreting, that means more dilute urine will form and release of water outside the body will be maximum. So this is how the concentration of urine takes place. Then this is called mechanism of concentration of urine or the filtrate, which is done in here. And this process called counter current mechanism. We will start with the next class. In the next class, I will also discuss this again, right? So please read the content. Please read the NCERT as well, so that you can understand the counter current mechanism. Before going to finish this class, just go and study the NCERT part first and try to understand where the filtration process takes place, where the reabsorption takes place, and how the selective reabsorption takes place in the ascending part. Why this selective reabsorption takes place, why this is called counter current mechanism, we will discuss it in the next class. तो चलेंगे बच्चों, मिलेंगे next class में. Till then, keep revising. Okay, bye bye. See you in the next class. Bye bye.